Hello everyone, my name is Mark Silverberg and this is my executive technology presentation about Cloud Encryption Gateways. Before we get started into what Cloud Encryption Gateways are, I want to start with a little bit of role-playing in which we have a typical executive, let's say a CFO, and maybe the IT team in a conversation about wherein the Cloud Encryption Gateway is a viable solution, but perhaps not explained correctly. So here we have the CFO asking, how can our enterprise take advantage of third-party applications that run in the cloud, of course, without compromising security? And your typical IT guy will just say, oh, let's go buy this. And of course, our friendly CFO doesn't know what a Cloud Encryption Gateway is. Now it's the IT team's responsibility to educate the senior executive leadership team, who ultimately makes enterprise-wide decisions, what a Cloud Encryption Gateway is and why the enterprise needs it and how it will benefit. Let's first go over what a Cloud Encryption Gateway, or a CEG, is. A CEG is a security product that obfuscates sensitive information that gets stored in the cloud. So that sensitive data is encrypted as it flows from a secure device, whether it be in the walls of an enterprise campus or on a mobile device or user telecommuting, through the CEG proxy and into the cloud service provider's backend. So far, everything sounds good, but the first question a security professional would ask is, how is that secure? How can we put our customer information, which we're responsible for protecting, and put it into the cloud and just trust that our service providers, such as Salesforce, Dropbox, etc., is going to still keep that secure? Well, the answer is you can't trust that third-party provider. You really just can't. So that's why Cloud Encryption Gateways are here. What Cloud Encryption Gateways do is in that middle part between sending the data from a secure device on your network into the cloud, it encrypts or obfuscates the data. So as we see here, on the left side, we have the data that is stored in the service provider, let's say Salesforce. As you can see, it's completely obfuscated. Salesforce employees who even have access to the raw database would not be able to understand or get at the customer data stored in their cloud. What the Cloud Encryption Gateway does when an authorized user, such as an enterprise user teleworking or who has this security software on their computer, it de-obfuscates or de-encrypts that data so that it's business as usual for the authorized user within the walls or on a Plus device of the enterprise. Now let's go over some of the key benefits of Cloud Encryption Gateways. Conveniently, Cloud Encryption Gateways benefit the organization in all of the three major common security goals, that is the CIA triad. First, it facilitates confidentiality by making sure that only authorized users behind the Cloud Encryption Gateway proxy are able to see the confidential and secured information. Because of the fact that Cloud Encryption Gateways use encryption, integrity is maintained. Integrity is the ability to know if sensitive data was destroyed or changed within transit or at rest. Cloud Encryption Gateways also benefit the organization by helping to increase availability of systems that are outsourced to the cloud. Through my research of Cloud Encryption Gateways, I've come across many key findings and accompanying recommendations that every enterprise looking at the solution, as well as alternatives, should consider. First, because CEGs have to integrate with third-party applications, such as Salesforce, Google, etc., you need to plan for ongoing support of those connectors by either the Cloud Encryption Gateway service that you employ, or by the third-party service provider, or potentially contractors, or, of course, your own IT staff. There are many moving parts in each connector. Similarly, most CEG providers say they support many popular and common software as a service and infrastructure as a service offerings. In the same light, many offer to integrate with any app, but additional resources may be required. For example, if they support Amazon Web Services and say out of the box and say that they could also support Microsoft Azure cloud services, it's not going to be a one-click fix. You're going to need to have people familiar with both APIs look at the existing connector and facilitate a new connector for the existing service, in this case, Microsoft Azure. Additionally, it's important to not forget about the trade-offs of two elements of cloud encryption gateways, the cloud as well as encryption. By moving things to the cloud, workforce locations will affect latency and perceived performance. Additionally, encryption, while important for maintaining security, will increase time for data retrieval as well as storage. Additionally, not all information might want to be encrypted by the Cloud Encryption Gateway if you plan to use these third-party apps such as Salesforce to do calculations. Additionally, and this is one Gartner was very prudent to point out, Cloud Encryption Gateways are an emerging technology. There are better offerings being developed and coming out as we speak. To address this, Gartner really suggests that enterprises enter into short-term contracts and/or take advantage of free trials by Cloud Encryption Gateway vendors. This slide shows the position of Cloud Encryption Gateways within the context of the famed Gartner hype cycle for cloud security, last updated in July 2013. As we can see, Cloud Encryption Gateways are nearing its peak of inflated expectations and is expected to plateau in the next 5 to 10 years. Gartner also includes many interesting ratings and qualitative metrics for each technology. In terms of benefit rating, Gartner rates Cloud Encryption Gateways as having a high benefit. However, market penetration is currently at only 1 to 5%. This is likely due to the fact that Cloud Encryption Gateways are both a new technology as well as emerging in their services as well as feature sets and pricing. Just like any IT project, adoption and implementation strategy will be a key to successful integration of a Cloud Encryption Gateway into an existing enterprise. Timeline and strategy is highly interdependent on 3 factors: existing network structure and size, third-party integrations such as Google, Salesforce, Dropbox, etc., as well as the number and locations of hosts, that is PCs, servers, mobile devices, etc., that may need to be touched to configure the Cloud Encryption Gateway. Though Cloud Encryption Gateways are a new technology and service offering for most companies, there are 2 frontrunners in the space: CipherCloud as well as the Cloud Data Protection Gateway by Perspexis Systems. CipherCloud is the current market leader and was one of the first commercial off-the-shelf solutions for Cloud Encryption Gateways on the market. Their integrations are many, including Salesforce, Box, Microsoft Office 365, Google Mail, Amazon Web Services, and more. They focus on the financial services and healthcare industry and do have a free trial available. Though pricing was not available on the CipherCloud website, I did find in one of their launch press releases from a few years ago that they price between $5 and $20 per month per user. As of November 2013, CipherCloud had 2 million users, 250 million records protected across 10 industries, 14 countries, and 6 languages. Of course, the missing number here is the number of clients they have. CipherCloud's main competitor is the Cloud Data Protection Gateway by Perspexis Systems. Their main integrations include Salesforce, ServiceNow, which is a CRM, Oracle Database Solutions, as well as Amazon Web Services. Perspexis Systems marketing focuses on international data privacy laws as well as governance for NGOs and requirements such as data residency and other obligations most EU members are bound to. It's interesting to note that both companies do follow US FIPS 140-2 standards by the National Institute for Standards and Technology, which requires at least 256-bit AES encryption. Both companies also have had dozens of millions of dollars invested in them by top venture capital firms. This suggests that it's an emerging technology offering and not yet profitable. As with any technology, it is important to weigh the risks and advantages of cloud encryption gateways before going down the path of deciding a vendor or even if you want to implement cloud encryption gateways at all. Some of the risks include change management issues which may arise when using new and emerging technologies such as cloud encryption gateways in the cloud in general. Some stakeholders, such as senior management, might see the cloud as completely insecure and a non-starter. Speed might also be a consideration that needs to be looked out for due to the fact that encryption and decryption through the cloud will take time and will almost always be slower than a situation without encryption. Vendor lock-in is an easily avoidable risk of cloud encryption gateways. Gartner suggests insisting on short-term contracts with your cloud encryption gateway vendor. There are also many advantages to outweigh these risks of cloud encryption gateways. The advantages include everything included in the CIA triad, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, as well as the ability to securely harness the cloud and outsource some of the IT that you might need for running internal services such as a CRM or financial systems. All of these things can save time, money, and human resources, allowing a business to focus on its core value that it can bring to its customers. Cloud encryption gateways have been in the news lately. SC Magazine, a magazine that bills itself as a magazine for IT security professionals, ran an article called Cloud of Suspicion where it profiled CipherCloud and other vendors as having a promising solution to allow small and medium-sized businesses as well as large enterprises take advantage of software as a service applications that run in the cloud, while still maintaining their high degree of security and confidentiality. A both interesting and telling statistic cited by the article was that a study released in May 2012 from Microsoft Corporation's Trustworthy Computing Group found that out of small and medium-sized businesses which have not yet used cloud computing, about 2/3 said that they are concerned with the lack of accepted security standards. The three news articles on the right-hand side of this slide show cloud encryption gateway vendors and their various press releases. The one in the middle from Yahoo News cites CipherCloud as an innovator at the SINet, which is Security Innovation Network Showcase, which is hosted by the Department of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. each year. Now that we've been through what a cloud encryption gateway is, how it's secure, its key benefits, findings, as well as recommendations, where it is on the hype cycle, implementation and strategic decisions, we've looked at 2 vendor solutions, we've looked at the risks and advantages of early adoption, and we've also looked at different news releases about cloud encryption gateways. I'd like to take one more minute to summarize what a cloud encryption gateway is and why it's so valuable to most enterprises looking to leverage the cloud. Let's first recall that a cloud encryption gateway is a proxy between an enterprise's secure network and the public cloud. Sensitive data is encrypted as it flows from a device through the CEG proxy and into the cloud service provider's backend. Sensitive information is not stored in the cloud service provider's backend without being first encrypted. When a user needs to read the information from the cloud device, it is decrypted and presented to them on their computer screen just as it would as if it were not encrypted, providing a seamless experience for authorized users while also a secure experience for the enterprise at large. This final slide includes the citations for the works I referenced. I tried to look at both industry news, Gartner reports, as well as vendor solution websites to come to a well-rounded understanding of what cloud encryption gateways are. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them through the discussion board.